Major Barcelona update. During his impressive performances with Spain, Nico Williams has sent a clear and powerful message to the Barcelona locker room, and it could shake things up at Camp Nou. Meanwhile, Barca are not slowing down in the transfer market. After securing Joan García, they're now working on extending Wojciech Szczęsny's deal to bolster their goalkeeping options. But not everything is smooth. Young midfielder Pablo Torre faces an uncertain future, and reports suggest Barcelona are in serious danger of losing one of their most promising midfield starlets. Stick around as we break it all down. Nico Williams keeps on making headlines, with the Catalan press really talking up a Barcelona move for the Spain star since it was revealed his agent met with Deco. The latest update comes from Diario Sport and a claim that Williams has already sent out a very clear message to the Barcelona dressing room. "Bro, take me," is the gist of it, with Nico having apparently told Spain teammates Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Fermin Lopez and Pau Cubarsí that he's really keen to move this summer. The report also claims that during the recent Spain call-up, Williams made it clear when talking with the Barca contingent that he wants to join them. Contact is said to have continued ever since, and Nico feels like he'd fit in well at Barcelona and is determined to make it happen. It's also being reported by journalist Kike Marin that Williams has already told his teammates that he wouldn't be at Athletic next season, although a move away is still far from guaranteed. After sealing the deal for Joan García, Barcelona are now moving quickly to finalize a contract extension for Wojciech Szczęsny, aiming to secure their goalkeeping lineup for the future. FC Barcelona's goalkeeping situation for the 2025-26 season is coming into focus. With Joan García set to join from Espanyol next week as the expected starting keeper, the club is now finalizing a renewal for Wojciech Szczęsny, who will serve as his backup. Szczesny has reportedly agreed to extend his stay for another season, with an option for a second year until 2027. The Polish international impressed after joining the team midway through last season and has made it clear he wants to continue. Negotiations for his renewal have progressed in recent weeks alongside the club's broader goalkeeping reshuffle. Szczesny's contract extension would leave Marc-Andre ter Stegen as the third choice, despite being the current captain. Barcelona is open to moving him this summer, especially with the 2026 World Cup on the horizon. The club hopes the German keeper will seek a transfer in order to maintain his place in the national team. Meanwhile, Iñaki Peña is expected to terminate his contract and leave the club. The future of Barcelona midfielder Pablo Torre remains unclear, with no final decision yet on his next destination. Pablo Torre, the 22-year-old FC Barcelona midfielder, is currently focused on the U21 European Championship with Spain, but discussions about his club future are already underway. Torre wants to remain part of the Barcelona project and is willing to extend his contract beyond its current 2026 expiration. However, he is unlikely to get much playing time next season due to heavy competition in midfield, including players like Dani Olmo, Gavi, Fermin Lopez and Pedri. Barcelona values Torre and wants to maintain control over his future. Their preferred plan is to renew his contract and then send him on loan to a top-tier team to gain experience. However, Torre is hesitant about another loan, as he felt sidelined during his previous loan spell at Girona, where the club prioritized players they owned outright. As an alternative, Barcelona is considering selling him for a modest fee while including a buyback clause, allowing them to retain a stake in his long-term development. Torre favors this option if it means securing a role under a coach who trusts him. Talks are expected to continue after the U21 tournament, and his future may not be settled by the start of pre-season. Barcelona are at real risk of losing one of their most gifted young midfielders, sparking major concern within the club. La Liga giants Barcelona are sweating over the future of a leading member of the club's youth ranks. That's according to Mundo Deportivo, who point towards Alex Garrido as the player in question. Garrido, for those not familiar with his name, is a 21-year-old midfielder who has long been held in high regard behind the scenes in Catalonia's capital. The Spaniard spent this past season acting as captain for Barca Athletic, racking up 25 league appearances and chipping in with a pair of goals along the way. The Barcelona reserve team's eventual relegation, however, has thrown the future of Garrido and others into serious doubt. As per a report from Mundo Deportivo, ahead of the expiration of his Blaugrana contract at the end of the month, it is looking increasingly likely that Garrido will bring a close to his chapter with the club this summer. The captain of the Barca reserve team's contract expires in a couple of weeks, on June 30, 2025, and he has yet to renew, so his future is up in the air and he may be more likely to be away than in Barca. As Barcelona continue to rebuild for the new season, the club is moving fast, but big decisions lie ahead. From Nico Williams making headlines to Torre's unclear path and a rising talent possibly slipping away, it's a crucial time for the Blaugrana. Will Laporta and Deco manage to keep hold of the club's future stars? Will Szczesny become a long-term figure at Camp Nou? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications for the latest Barca updates. Barcelona's summer transfer window is heating up with major developments. Another Barca star is reportedly pushing to have his contract terminated this summer, shaking up the squad dynamics. Meanwhile, Ousmane Dembele praises an exceptional Barcelona teammate who's making waves in the Ballon d'Or race. And in transfer news, an agent of a Barcelona target breaks silence, denying any agreements and criticizing Porto's handling of the situation. Let's dive into all the latest updates and what they mean for the Catalan Giants. A member of the goalkeeper ranks at La Liga giants Barcelona is hopeful of the club granting him a contract termination this summer. That's according to Diario Sport, who point towards Iñaki Peña as the player in question. Goalkeeper Peña is of course widely expected to be on the move before the summer is out. With Joan García on his way in at the Camp Nou, and Wojciech Szczęsny now expected to stay put for next season, the Spaniard is aware that game time would be at a premium in Hansi Flick's squad in 2025-26. Club and player alike are therefore on the lookout for a new home for Peña. As alluded to above, though, amid something of a shortage of suitors at present, the latter is ready to seek out the letter of freedom with a view to next season. As per a report from Sport, Peña knows that he does not fit into Flick's goalkeeper plans. His contract expires in 2026 and he is aiming for a termination. It remains to be seen if Deco and the Camp Nou brass are open to such a route, after already agreeing to terminate the contract of one player, Clement Lenglet, this summer. Ousmane Dembele praised a Barcelona teammate as exceptional amid the Ballon d'Or race, highlighting his standout performances this season. Former Barcelona star Ousmane Dembele has this week revealed his appreciation for the talents of current Blaugrana standout Lamine Yamal. The names of attackers Dembele and Lamine have of course found themselves positioned alongside one another in the media for several weeks now. This comes amid mounting claims that the pair have emerged as the leading candidates to lift this year's Ballon d'Or. Wideman Dembele is fresh off leading Paris Saint-Germain to a first-ever Champions League title, whilst Lamine notched a domestic treble of his own, dazzling onlookers the world over despite being just 17 years of age. Speaking during an extensive interview with France Football this week, the former, in turn, was drawn on his chief competition for the Golden Ball. And Dembele made use of the opportunity to open up on Lamine's emergence in Catalonia's capital, in explaining, "He was already talked about since he was very young in Barcelona. When he joined the professional team, we understood that he was exceptional and he took on another dimension. In training he dribbled, assisted, scored. It was unreal." Barcelona target's agent denies any deal has been made and criticizes Porto's handling of the situation, stressing that nothing is signed or agreed yet. Andy Barra, agent to several footballers including Dani Olmo, was in Barcelona this week to negotiate a potential transfer involving Cardoso Varela, a 16-year-old Portuguese winger who was developed at FC Porto and currently plays for Dinamo Zagreb. Although no deal has yet been finalized, Barcelona, Dinamo, and Barra are working towards an agreement that would see Varela join the Catalan club, with an initial plan for him to remain on loan at the Croatian club next season. In reaction to this, Porto via President André Villas-Boas expressed frustration, sending an official letter to Barcelona claiming ownership of the player and escalating the matter to FIFA. Porto argued that the player left the club at a very young age and believe they still retain his rights. The Portuguese outfit went as far as calling Varela's agent's actions kidnapping and threatened to break ties with Barcelona if they proceed to sign the teenager. Andy Barra hits out at Porto. Speaking to Sports Novosti hat tip Mundo Deportivo, Barra hit out at Villas-Boas and Porto over their recent actions. "He was a great coach, but he is the worst president in the history of Porto. Everyone at the club knows that, including the fans. He deals with things that a club president should not handle," said Barra. Andy Barra, agent to several footballers including Dani Olmo, was in Barcelona this week to negotiate a potential transfer involving Cardoso Varela, a 16-year-old Portuguese winger who was developed at FC Porto and currently plays for Dinamo Zagreb. Although no deal has yet been finalized, Barcelona, Dinamo, and Barra are working towards an agreement that would see Varela join the Catalan club, with an initial plan for him to remain on loan at the Croatian club next season. In reaction to this, Porto via President André Villas-Boas expressed frustration, sending an official letter to Barcelona claiming ownership of the player and escalating the matter to FIFA. Porto argued that the player left the club at a very young age and believe they still retain his rights. The Portuguese outfit went as far as calling Varela's agent's actions kidnapping and threatened to break ties with Barcelona if they proceed to sign the teenager. Andy Barra hits out at Porto. Speaking to Sports Novosti hat tip Mundo Deportivo, Barra hit out at Villas-Boas and Porto over their recent actions. He was a great coach, but he is the worst president in the history of Porto. Everyone at the club knows that, including the fans. He deals with things that a club president should not handle, said Barra. Porto accuses Dinamo of things that he himself does 5 times a year. Dinamo did everything legally and honestly. And Villas-Boas personally called at least 7 or 8 European clubs not to sign Varela, who was a free player at the time, he added. Not stopping there, Varela's agent added, with what he is doing, he does not even recognize the authority of FIFA and the Portuguese courts that ruled in favor of Varela and his parents, and ultimately in favor of Dinamo in February. Villas-Boas is acting like that guy whose wife has already left him, she's already with someone else, but he still insists she's still his. Barra clarified the situation. To definitively close the story, because I see that in the media everything is being said, Varela is a Dinamo player and he is going to do pre-season with the team. He has won all the trials in the national court in Porto. The Portuguese prosecutor's office also dismissed the criminal complaint filed by Porto and closed the case in October 2024. In February 2025, FIFA also ruled in favor of the player and registered him as a Dinamo player. That's why I don't understand some articles that are appearing in the media on Varela's future. Barra also emphasized that Barcelona are not involved in the legal side of this matter. And when asked about talks of an agreement being in place for the Catalans to sign Varela from Dinamo, the agent said, Barcelona face an intense summer ahead with contract battles, transfer targets, and star aiming for individual glory. Whether it's a contract termination, Ballon d'Or contenders, or tricky negotiations, the coming weeks will be crucial for Barca's future. Stay tuned for more breaking news and analysis right here, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for all your Barcelona updates.